Hi, this is the beginning of a new playlist where I want to differentiate between change management sort of strategies and concepts and perspectives to a more narrow topic of tools. Uh, and if we look at all the academic research that's been done, well, and I should say practical popularization of research over the last 15 years or so, back in 1996, John Kotter, actually a former professor of mine at Harvard Business School, came out with kind of the definitive, up-to-the-date book called Leading Change, and he's focused in this area for a long time. It's one of several books. I mean, he had a sequel to it, but this was not only an academic book, but it was well written and easily consumed from a business manager, pragmatic kind of viewpoint. And he has kind of 8 key guidelines for leading change. However, that still was a little bit weighty. So Ken Blanchard, the 1 Minute Manager guy, being ever the great popularizer in 1998, co-authored a book called Who Moved My Cheese, which sold 60 million copies in a bunch of different languages. And I even read it to my children at the time because they were young, and the idea of, oh well, sometimes things don't work out, and we got to get up off our duff and go find new things to do, kind of thing. So it was airplane rating 45 minutes kind of thing. I then came across an interview with Kotter, probably about 2003, where the reporter was saying, well, gee, you wrote this great book, but this Who Moved My Cheese has outsold you about 50 to 1. What do you think about that? Or why didn't you write Who Moved My Cheese? And he said, well, I'm a bit of a victim. I live and work in an academic environment, and I get funding, and I've got to do original research and so forth. But I get your point. He said, heck, if I sell 10,000 copies and nobody reads it, what's that going to do for society? Whereas if 60 million people read Who Move My Cheese, and some people just get some courage to try to do something, and progress moves forward, that's good. Well, then guess what? A couple years later, Kotter came out with a book where he went back to Spencer Johnson, and said, let's rewrite Leading Change with my 8 ideas, but put it in a little fable thing about penguins on a iceberg, and because of global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it up in the some area, the iceberg's melting. What are they going to do as a community to solve the problem? And that sold fantastically well. For a long time it was a bestseller, and for every 8, 9, 10 copies they sold of that, people go buy one of these copies of Leading Change. So realizing that you have to sort of make things simple, and you have to focus on the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Heath and Heath wrote a book called Switch, which is an excellent book. Go to Amazon, read the reviews, buy it. And what it's done is taken all the research up to 2009 and distilled it down to simple metaphors and terms. They don't go into why these things work and all that sort of stuff. They just, focus on the tip of the iceberg. So in the next couple of slides, we're going to take a look at the specific tools that come out of Switch. Thank you.